Good morning. Oh my gosh, 12 of you already? 14? Holy guacamole. Hi, how is everyone? Are we good? This week has been frantic, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the year is just going by so quickly. Do you know what I mean? If you've been here before, you know what we're doing today. If you have never been here before, does anyone know? Does anyone know what we're doing? Not good, not bad. Good morning. I was going to wait and see if anybody... There you go, Claire. Knots and crosses. No, we're not playing tic-tac-toe. It's French knot day. Everyone, French knots. Now, some people really love these. Some people hate them. I swear to God, I say that. Looks like maths. Yeah, 1 goes into 3 how many times? Multiplication, right? No, it's not like that at all. I swear to God, I say this for every single stitch, but French knots is probably one of the hardest stitches for people to get, and they make some really common mistakes that are really easily fixed. So I actually really like teaching French knots because I feel like, not to like toot my own horn, but I feel like I teach them pretty well. So yeah, we're gonna get started. I've got 3 strands. So down here is the strands. I'm gonna do 1 strand, 3 strands, and 6 strands. Now you can also do 2 strands, 4 strands, and 5 strands if you want to. So you can make the grid much bigger. And then here you're gonna have 1 wrap, 2 wraps, and 3 wraps. Now the less wraps that are up here and the less strands, which are on this side, the smaller the French knot is going to be. So that would be really great for like the center of a flower that has all those tiny little seeds in it. Perfect for that. Also for something like, what's it called? Strawberries. Strawberries that have all those tiny little seeds in them. Really great for that as well. Or little eyeballs if you're going to make people. Like little necklaces or anything like that. Just really fine details. And then obviously down here you have 6 strands, which is how your thread comes. And then you have 3 wraps here. So you're going to get some big boy like knots, you know. I wouldn't go too much more than 3. Sometimes you can do 4. But the reason is because the wraps tend to add up and they make a taller like pile on your needle. And then they tend to kind of go like this, like fold over onto themselves, and they don't make a nice wrap. So let's get started because, you know, I tend to talk a lot. So I'm going to zoom it in so you can see what I'm doing, but not too far because you actually need to see what I'm doing with this hand as well. So we're going to practice with 3 strands already on my needle, and we're just going to do 1 wrap so I can teach you how to do a French knot. So you're going to come up from the back and hold this thread with your left hand and put your needle above. If anyone doesn't want to learn this because you already know, all we're doing today is filling up these 2 bushes here and here with French knots. You can use any kind of mix of wraps and strands that you want to. If you want to make them real big, you can make them real big, or you can do a mix of big and small. We're just going to fill in this bush here and this bush here. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing and you just want to get started, then that's what we're doing. I would probably suggest 3 wraps. No, 3 strands and 2 wraps, or 3 strands and 3 wraps, or 6 strands and 1 or 2 wraps. It just depends on how big or small you want them to be. So you can kind of, you know, do the practice one, don't commit, and then you can see what it looks like. And I'll show you how to do that too. So that's all we're doing today. I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, if you wanted to use different colors as well, so do like a dark color and a light color in here to kind of like give it a little something, a little depth or something like that, then you could do that as well. Or you could use a variegated thread and mix it around like I did up here to make it look like there's dark in some places and light in some places. Of course, you could do that too. So this and this with French knots. I just thought I'd say that because I know the French knot thing can get a little bit long. And if you already know how to do it, then you're probably like, what are we doing today? I just want to know. Just tell me. Okay, so we're holding our thread with this hand, and we're going to put the needle at the top like this. And you're going to wrap it around your needle one time. Okay? So let's just turn it a little bit. And you're going to put your needle down right next to where you came up. So you can put it through the same hole. But what happens sometimes is that you can pull the knot through the fabric, like to the back. So I like to put it kind of right next to it so that the knot is still there, but not too far away, you know? If you put it too far away, your knot's gonna end up here. And we don't want that. You want it to be quite close to where you put it down. So wrap like this, put it down right next to where you came up. And this is the part that most people forget or mess up on. You wanna shimmy this knot, this wrap, all the way down to the base of your fabric. So you're just gonna pull it down like this. So if you look sideways, the knot is all the way down, touching the base of the fabric, and your needle is straight up and down. And it's not so tight that you can't push your needle through. Okay? And the other thing you're gonna do is hold this thread with your thumb. So you have all of this thread here. We don't want to have a knot before we make a knot. So you're going to push this needle down and hold this thread with your hand. Yeah, and then you can let go and you've done one. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit. I'll move this to the side so you can see, because you do need to see both hands. Yeah, grab it, needle, one wrap, put it down, shimmy that down the shaft, and stick it in, making sure to hold this thread until it goes all the way through. Okay? Do you want me to do left hand? Is anyone left-handed? You can do left-handed too. So you go up through the back. Yeah, hold it with your right hand, put your needle over the top like this, make your loop, make your wrap, and you're gonna put it down right next to where you came up, shimmy that down like this, yeah, and keep your right hand holding this thread, and you're gonna pull it down like this. Mel, are you left-handed or are you saying hi? There you go. So we've got 3 knots there, 3 strands, 1 wrap. Let's move along. So this one, exactly the same, 2 wraps. So you're going to take it and wrap it one time and then wrap it another time. Now, the most like common mistake I see is people will wrap it like this and they'll put it down like that and they'll pull it through like that and they'll go, oh, I just can't do them. And I'm like, it's because you're not following the directions. So you really do need to shimmy that down. The other thing that I often see is that people will wrap it and they'll put it so tight like this that they can't get their needle close enough. And then when they go to put it through, it's really, really difficult for them. So they pull it through to the back. That's another thing that I often see. So if it's too tight, it's almost going to look the same. Wow, left-handed party in the chat. Wow, okay, so Mel is, is it L or Ellie? L is, and Veronica is. Whoa. So you want them to be 2 wraps, not so tight that they're like constipated, you know? but they do need to be tighter than that, you know? And then we'll do 3 wraps. And obviously, the more wraps you do, the bigger your knot gets. Okay, so we've got 1 wrap, 2 wraps, 3 wraps. Oh no, oh no, oh no. It's actually... Oh my goodness, I cannot pronounce that. Eldith? Like Sealdith? Oh my gosh, I cannot do it. I can't say that. Okay, so I've got 1 strand on here. I'm thinking my previous French knots were all constipated. If they're too tight, then that's probably what the deal is. You really want to make sure. It's Scottish. Yeah, I have a hard time with that. I'm really sorry. But she goes by L or L Gaelic. Ailey. Do you know what? I was watching that TV show called Rain. And someone on there is called Ailey. And it was really pretty. Ailey. So I've got 1 strand, 1 wrap. I think she dies from poison though. Not that you're gonna die from poison, but I was just thinking, I wonder what happened to her. Yay for Scottish names. Well, my name is just Tori. Like the England party Tory. Spelled the same. I don't have a longer name or anything. That's it. So I know someone was making sweatshirts that say, never marry a Tory. And I told David I was going to buy one for him. Because I think it's funny. Why is this happening? There we go. So we've got all of our 1 strands done. Now for today's, I just saw that someone said what for today's bushes. What do you recommend? What did I recommend at the beginning of the video? I would probably go for like this one. Yeah, or if you are bit lazy and you don't want to separate the strands, 3 strands, 3 wraps looks just like 6 strands in 1 wrap. So that's something that I always tell people too, is that by making the chart, you can figure out what kind of size knots you want. And then you can always fake it, you know, by just using different strands and different wraps to get what you want. So we've got 6 strands, 1 wrap. See, it looks very similar to this or even this. So it just depends. And the other thing is that it depends on what you want your bush to look like. Like, you don't have to use French knots for the bush. That's just what the stitch that we're going to learn today and what I would suggest so that it looks bush-like. But I guess it depends on how, pardon the pun, but big you want your bush to be. Obviously, everyone's bushes are different, okay? So let's not judge. But if you wanted to do something that's quite small, something like this, it's going to take you forever. like forever. But what you could do is mix and match a couple different ones. So if you wanted to do like a lighter color with bigger knots to make your bush like fluffy. Wow, this is not what I imagined today to be at all, but that's fine. And you could go back in with a darker color to do some smaller ones if you wanted to give your bush some dimension. Did you really say that? You guys are so dirty, okay? Guys, there's a bush here, okay? The bushes in front of everyone's houses are different. Yeah, I did say that. So then we've got 6 strands and 2 wraps. And then we've got the biggest knots ever, which is going to be 6 strands and 3 wraps. That's probably, I don't even know how we started talking about this. I was asking Elle or Ellie or Ailey about how to say her name. So you can tell these are way, way, way bigger than what we started with, which is the one. I'm not going to lie, I'm giggling. That's because you have a dirty mind, Mel. Okay? I'm here for the embroidery, okay? Not your guys's just sick, nasty minds. Okay, so this is what we've got. So we've got our little grid. We've got how not to do it. I didn't do like the one where it's far away. That's actually called the pistol stitch. I can do one real quick if you want. And it looks almost like a knot on a stick, if that gives you any indication of what it looks like. A knot on a stick. So you come up down here and then you do your wraps and you put it down up here. This is the pistol stitch, and it looks like a knot on a stick or like a little lollipop or something. So that's what you'll get if you put it too far away. That's why you want to keep it a little bit close. Okay, so that's finished. A good 20 minutes talking about bushes and knots and stuff. Oh, you guys are a bad influence. Okay, so back to our real bush that we're gonna do. What I was saying is that you could mix colors if you wanted. You could even do the whole like one strand of one color and one strand of another color to like mix them up in there. And if you're wondering how many strands and how many wraps to do, did I use this one yet? I feel like I did, but I'll do it down here. You can always do some and then don't commit. The other thing is that if you really want to use a color and you don't have very much left, then you can always split it into 3 strands and you can get double the thread from that. So say you wanted 6 strands, 1 wrap, but you were like, oh, I really want to use this color and I don't have very much left and I'm not going to be able to fill it all. You could always do 3 strands, 2 wraps, or 3 strands, 3 wraps and get a very similar size knot and you get double the thread. So there's that too. I'm just going to walk away for a second because I really need a drink. And I know some people really hate it when I drink close to the microphone because you can hear everything. So give me like 10 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. But I know some people like really grinds their gears, so I'd rather like walk away than you have to listen to like mouth noises, you know? Okay, so I'm probably gonna I'll do 3 strands and 2 or 3 wraps, and then you can see how it looks. I normally like a darker color for front bushes. But let's see if we can't mix a couple together. meaning you can do like some light and some dark, and it will give it a nice little thing. Everyone left after bush chat, bushgate. Okay. Here we go. Now there's a couple ways you can fill this in. The first way is to start in the middle and kind of work your way out. The second way is to outline it so that you have the outline and then you can fill it in. Or you can do what I normally do, is just put them anywhere and fill them in that way. So if you ever are wondering how many wraps to do and you're not really sure, put the wraps on and shimmy it down your needle like that, but don't commit to it. So you can kind of see how big the knot is. Well, I can, you can't, but you can kind of see how big the knot is, and you can think, oh, is that too small? Is that too big? And then you can make one wrap if you wanted to. So that's a really small knot, or you can make them quite big. It just depends on what you like. So let's see here. See, I think that's a nice size. So it's 3 strands and 3 wraps. But obviously you can make them bigger or smaller. And like I said, I tend to just kind of put them around. But again, it just depends on what you like. And I probably will not do the whole bush. I'll just do some, and then, because you get it, do you know what I mean? You don't need to watch 40 minutes of me wrapping my thread around the needle. You could do like an ombre effect where you do dark on the bottom, medium in the middle, light on the top. I'm not taking these knots out to do that. So y'all can figure that out if you want. Again, you could do big knots, small knots. So some are bigger, some are smaller. You could add little berries into it if you wanted to, little red berries or white berries, purple berries, orange. I know there's some orange berries outside on our tree, our bush. Yeah, so they're like quite pretty. So you could do that. The other thing that normally happens with French knots is because you're doing the same movement over and over and over. Let me zoom out and I'll show you what happens. Is that, there's my t-shirt, is that your thread will start doing this. And this is how you get knots. So what you want to do is let your needle hang. So like that. And you want to get all of those twists out of your needle. So it stays just like that and it doesn't twist up. And then you can continue doing your French knots. The worry is that if you don't do that and you keep it the same, and it gets twisty, then you can get a knot on the top of your, what's it called? Embroidery. Is it Dana? I forget. She says, I'm doing the lazy version, 6 strands, 1 wrap, and it actually looks really nice. Thanks for the tip, Tori. I think my bush will be lovely. Your bush is lovely. Oh, guys, these lives, they seriously make my day. I'm not even kidding. Like, most of the time I cringe when I push finished, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, did that actually happen? Especially last Friday's Honky Peg episode. Oh, Jesus. Every bush is lovely. It is. Even if you don't have one, that's okay too. Oh, I've got problems. I blame my mother. Is she in here? It's all her fault. I just spit tea out of my mouth, Tori. My bush. Thank you. It's Demetra. For some reason, I thought your name was Dana, but I feel like maybe that was someone else. Please don't spit tea on your embroidery, though. Tea stain, they are lovely, but that's not the look we're going for here. Sorry, do not. There she is. Patty says, so sorry I missed Honky Peg. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's an absolute disaster. Hopefully it will make your day if you're having a bad day. And Robin, my mom says, do not blame me. It's all her fault. It is her fault. Mom, I got all the stuff for Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't figure out what it is. So today, before the shops close, I'm going to have to put all the dishes out and put all the stuff in each of the dishes and make sure I have everything because, oh my goodness. I feel like I forgot something. And I have to make sure I have the stuff for the pumpkin muffins because I'm going to make those tonight. And then the last thing about Thanksgiving is how far in advance can you make the pies? I think I could do those tonight too. She says your dad does that. I just feel like I'm forgetting something. I've got the turkey bag. I've got all the stuff to put inside. I've got stuffing stuff. You know, when you just feel like you're forgetting something. Okay, so I'm going to put some dark 890. Yes, just put them in the fridge. Then if I mess them up, I can get more pie crust. Haha. Okay, I'm gonna try. David got whipped cream for the pie because he likes whipped cream on his, even though I don't. I just feel like I'm forgetting something. She makes hers the day before. Pumpkin pie. I have to make sure I have clove. I think we need like that clove stuff too. Clove. I can't remember if we have any from last year, if I used it all. Maybe that's what I'm missing. We don't have cool up here, okay? Rub it in my face. Okay, so this is what I mean about mixing the colors. So if you want to, you can put some of each color on your needle at the same time, or you can just mix them like this. There's clove in the muffin recipe, I think. See what I mean? I need to figure out what I need. It's raining today though, so I really don't want to walk up to the shop. But maybe David can get it on his way home. Yeah, no cool up here. We also don't have those biscuits, you know, that you like bang on the counter and cook. So that's disappointing. And it's quite funny because, because we have to do our Thanksgiving in the evening because obviously people have work. We do get clotted cream, which is good. I don't know if it would work on pumpkin pie though. And then the Crafty Minnow says we have squirty cream. Is that different? That is the whipped cream. Comes in a can. Where in the States are you from? I'm from Ohio, right on the border of Ohio and Michigan. So we spent our summers in Michigan and our winters in Ohio. Probably spent just as much time in each one, maybe a little bit more time in Ohio because of school. There's a knot in the back. This is going to look so cute with the two colors. I can already tell. Oh, you're so tiny. Why are you doing this to me? Well, to be fair, you guys pretty much get the idea anyways, because we've done the French knots. This is going to be so cute. I'm really excited about this. I think the two colors really makes it, you know? And I'm glad that I did the 3 wraps, 3 strands, because I don't have very much of this color left. So that's really going to help if I have to do the other one, because you still have to do the other bush. Tomorrow is still regular stitch along, regular 10 in the morning. We're going to do the chimney, just the chimney. So get out your chimney color, and you might want to plan your house color so that you don't have a clashing chimney. So just a, heads up that it might be beneficial, because you really don't want to do your whole chimney and then be like, oh, if you're from England, you know what that's from. Yeah, you don't want to do your whole chimney and then be like, oh, they don't go together. So you could do like a brick red or like a red and brown, like mixed, so it looks like bricks. You could do a white brick if you wanted to, because I know white brick is like super fashionable at the moment. So yeah, whatever you choose, you can get that around. And then, like I said, I would probably just hold it up next to whatever color you want for your house so that you can make sure that it goes together. But we're just doing the chimney tomorrow because I know people are going to be with their families, even if it's just, a couple. Put this one pretty low down, didn't I? Even if it's a smaller Thanksgiving this year, you should take time and, be with the family that you can be around. So there we go. And if you're in England, do a Thanksgiving anyways. Have a little dinner with your family. Tell everyone what you're thankful for. No. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so I've done one. It took about 15 minutes. And that's with the 2 colors as well. I'll flip it over so that you can see what it looks like. I was thinking of adding red to the bushes for berries, but not sure, as I might do a red cabin. You can always add the berries later, because let me tell you, French knots are a bitch to cut out. Because listen, if you're going to cut them out, you basically have to cut out every single one, because the thread on the back is so short that you can't tie a knot there, which means that your French knots are going to be like floppy off the fabric. If you do want to cut them all out, I would suggest taking scissors and lifting up the knot, lifting them up, and cutting the tops of them off. You can also try and put your scissors underneath each one of these, but I found that it's easier if you cut the knot off and then pull them through on the top with your tweezers. The not for use on hair tweezers. Yeah, and then you can just pluck them all off. So if you want to do berries, but you want to do a red house as well, I would do the house first and then do the berries later because they're really easy to add in. They probably take like 50 seconds, to thread your needle and add them. So that's it from me. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I cannot wait to see your bushes, the house ones. Please don't send me any photos of any other ones. So yeah, make sure that they kind of match there so that, they look cohesive. Obviously, you can use the same colors that we used up here. Again, keeping it cohesive. And yeah, be sure to tag me at the Barmy Fox and use the hashtag, even though the hashtag I've been told is still not all the way working. Still use it because when they put it back to how it normally is, hopefully they will be all there together. It is definitely against Instagram's terms of use to send me any other bush than this right here. So I cannot wait to see them. Honestly, you guys always blow me away with your stitching. And yeah, it's gonna be so cute when it's all finished. I just know it. So I hope you have a lovely Wednesday. And I'm off to check my spice cabinet for clove. Enjoy your day. I will speak with you soon. Bye.